All right, it's Saturday, May 21st, 2022. I'm here in downtown Rialto for the Run Whatcha Brung show. This is like a two-day event. They actually had a cruise last night on Friday night, which I couldn't make it out for, but today they actually do a car show here where they close off the street on Riverside Avenue in downtown. It's actually a few blocks long. This block is a little quieter, so I came down here to shoot the intro. The second block, they've got a sound system throughout the whole block, so there's probably gonna be a lot of short clips to avoid the copyright, so be forewarned for that. But that seems to have been working lately on some of my videos for not flagging. So without further ado, let's go check out what's here. All right, so it was a little gloomy this morning. We did have rain last night, so that may have scared some people off from the show, but there's still a lot of great cars here to see, such as this 1966 GTO. Like I said, this block is sparse. The next block is pretty well packed in with cars, and that's when the clips are definitely going to get a lot shorter, unfortunately. I find that short clips plus talking over it does actually do the trick. Since YouTube's copyright doesn't care that you didn't add the music, unfortunately. We've already gone through all that in all my videos. Yeah, but there's a lot of neat stuff like this Falcon. It's a 64, as it says on the plate. Very much like the Ranchero I picked up and then got it running and then sold it. But last year, this one's got 4-speed in it. I always say Falcons are still one of the best bargains if you're looking to get into a vintage car. You can still get a project for a very reasonable price. There's a Nova, late 60s, maybe a 70, somewhere around there. The 80s Corvette motor. So next week I'm still planning to go up to Santa Maria for the Cruising Nationals up there. Which of course is a large show. I'm probably going to be there all day filming, most likely. That's a massive show and cruise. I was actually supposed to go up to Clovis this weekend, but actually had to have the kid all weekend, unfortunately. But this is still a great show. It's a very clean little Datsun. So sometimes I never know where I'm going to wind up at for a car show. Check out the gear shift knob. It's creamsicle. That's pretty clever. Matches the theme of the car. You know, the 50/50 bar Datsun. So I was supposed to go visit my buddy up in Clovis, and then said, okay, I'll shoot a show while I'm up there, and then that obviously didn't happen, which is what I announced in the last video I was going to do. But you got this 1967 Plymouth Belvedere. If you didn't watch the Mopar show, we did Mopars in May in Ontario last weekend. And of course, a few weeks before that, we did a Spring Fling Mopar show at Woodley Park in Van Nuys. Lots of great cars there. And I took my maiden car show voyage of the 74 AMC Matador that I saved from getting crushed in that video. I was actually on the phone with my buddy Steve, who runs the GM show at Warner Ranch Park on June 5th in Woodland Hills. So I'll be shooting that instead of Long Beach Swap that day. So I won't be doing Long Beach Swap June 5th. I'll be doing the GM show instead. Sort of helps him promote that show. There's a lot of great events that weekend too. That's like one of those weekends where there's just a lot of car shows that weekend. It's like that one weekend in April when I said there was just 5 things I wanted to shoot, and I only had time to shoot maybe 2 of them. Cars are actually still rolling in, such as that Plymouth. I think people are waking up and realizing it's not going to rain. So people that were either pre-registered or maybe still wanted to come down and register are showing up. So this international panel that's rolling on through. So it's about 9 o'clock, and people, like I said, there's still a few cars trickling in. Very nice Hudson. There's this Olds 442. Get you some more footage of this Hudson. This one is a Commodore, not a Hornet. My buddy Chuck actually has one of these that needs just about everything that he's going to get to eventually. I bought a Super Beetle convertible. My mother had one of these, same color combination, and she actually got it for my sister. And my sister could not learn how to drive stick, so my sister to this day cannot drive stick shift, which is a bit embarrassing. But in fact, before I was even legal age to drive, I drove that car in a park. That was the first car I ever drove. It was in a parking lot in the Super Beetle convertible before I had a license. Oh, I know this Nova that's kind of off on its own. So they're about 74, 75 model, somewhere there about. It's like original paint, just very faded. So this Ford F1 with the F100 with the tilt front end, with a small block Ford. The wood in the bed there. So there's the old 80s Western mags. You remember those? Old 442. Drag car. Buick. I believe it's a Wildcat or it's very similar to one I sold a few years ago, but it needed everything. Full custom Chevy pickup. some of the details there, like the bow ties on the ends. Those two Mopars we saw rolling in earlier. Got a 442, hasn't decided where to park yet. I said, I think I'm looking at another show on June 4th. I got to figure out what I'm going to shoot that day. If anything, definitely the 5th we're doing GM. Following week there's a Road King show in Burbank on the 12th. I think there's a few shows to choose from on the 11th if I'm able to do 2 shows that weekend. And then going into the rest of June there is, what do you call it, LA Roadsters. There's also a Pomona swap meet. And I might try to do the Pasadena Police Show, which is happening at Pasadena City Hall this year. Usually they do it at the convention center. So that show's back on Father's Day for the first time since pre-2020. So I mean, there's just lots of great shows coming up. Look at this Ford Phaeton. Challenger rolling through. '66 Ford Galaxy. So it is the XL with the buckets and console. '57 Ford pickup. And a small block Ford Power. Nice Thunderbirds coming through. Speaking of '57 Fords. It's got music, but I think we're okay on that. I've gotten pretty good at figuring out about how much I can get away with. Mustang Mach 1 coming through. So they are arriving a little bit late. Usually when you see that, it's because they don't know what the weather's going to be like yet in the morning, and then when they wake up they're like, oh, I better clean my car and get to the car show. I used to go to a lot of shows with my father. That's how it was. It would rain, and the next morning it would be nice, and it's like, oh, let's go hurry up and go to the car show. Alright, so this Chevy Deluxe is the last car before we get into the area where there's DJ speakers. So it's gonna be a lot of clips. Sometimes I clip it in the middle of the car, so it kind of, YouTube thinks it's two different songs with short clips, so that usually works for me. Plus talking over it. There's all these different tricks you can do. So, but after this, I think we're going to be getting into the clips where I've got two different clips of the same car. I'll give you a good shot of the motor on that Chevy. Original 6-cylinder. Alright, so I think we have a rule. We have to show vintage fire apparatus when we see it, such as this 1923 American LaFrance from the Rialto Fire Department. It is spectacular. So now we're in the area where I got to watch the music as we're getting closer to it. Anytime we have vintage fire equipment or farm implements, I always show it. It's always nice to look at. Piece of history. That Hemi-powered rod rolling through.
You want me to hold your dog?
Check out these Chevys like this 57 Nomad. I think it's the same family. They have this 56 Bel Air convertible. Very clean car. The 67 Pontiac Firebird 400. This one's got an automatic with an 8-track and the full wheel covers. There's most of these guys, the guys that have switched over to rally wheels over the years.
I would want that in this age.
So better look at the interior with the window down on this side. 67 Mustang GTA. It's a 55 Chevy pickup truck. I'll tell you what, this DJ isn't leaving any seconds between the songs, which usually does help me out. Not today. Yeah, often if I know a song's ending, I'll stop and wait for that 1 or 2 seconds in between the two songs. This guy's going right into the next song, so that's not working today. There's a 65 GTO 389 with 3 deuces. This one is the 4-speed variety. Show you the rest of the car here. As it does help when I do talk over it. I've had a couple of them where the second half clip got flagged because I didn't talk over it. That one actually does have a 428, not a 389. That one for you Mopar fans, this Plymouth Barracuda. There's like the back window on these. Of course, if you ever need one, you won't like having to ship one, that's for sure. But what a neat car. Nova with a supercharger on it. So look at that setup. Fuel cell in the back. And a look at this side of the car. A clean 67 Mustang with a small block. That time we actually did get a couple seconds. We've even got an 8-track, this 58 Ford pickup. This 56 Chevrolet. Try to get this one quick. The Chevelle from 1971. And we got another 56 Chevy. They are closer to the speakers. Actually, they're actually pointed directly this way, so. The custom airbrushing on the dashboard there. A 63 Porsche. This one's a 1932 Plymouth hot rod. '55 Chevy with a big block. This is a 71 El Camino in pale yellow. And a 72 El Camino. Show you the inside again. There's one of the 68 El Camino. Oh, he's got the club. That's for those of you who watched our Long Beach video where everyone had the club. And last week we had a DJ that kept playing ELO at a show. In fact, he kept playing the same ELO songs over and over again. So it's kind of weird. There's that 57 Thunderbird we saw rolling in earlier. A 312Y block. Under dash here. Very nice in black and white with the black and white interior. Very snazzy. The early Mustang. Got a 351 in it. Give you a look at the other side of the car. Says Ford F100. It's clean. 1961 Chevy Corvette. Was a 3-speed variety. Yep, 3 speeds were available in these. So, very nice car. Cars are still rolling in here, and trucks, as you can see. The early 70s Corvette Stingray. Neat car. One of those OBS trucks with a big block. Not sure if it's a real SS or not. See if he gives us a little break in between the songs here. Oh, we can go around the whole truck. A very clean 1954 Chevy convertible, Bel Air. A nice blue and white. I actually sold a set of those 1952 tabs for a 51 plate recently on eBay. I sat on eBay for a year and then sold, and then I had to go figure out where I put them so I could ship them to the guy. How about just a clean 54 Ford sedan with the 223 straight 6 in it. Nothing too spectacular, but just a very clean, interesting car. So you don't often see sedans restored to this level. That's for sure. It's such a treat to see this one. There's a cute 61 Volkswagen Beetle. Pop out windshield. The old Coke cooler. That's 1951 Mercury. I believe later in the day they actually let them cruise similar to what they did at the Show and Go in Riverside later on in the day. Comes that Hudson Commodore we saw earlier. Chevy pickup. All of this Chevy Apache. There's actually a couple cars here we saw at the Mopar show last week. This 67 Chevy sedan delivery, Chevelle. So there's a Hudson next to it I'll get next. That was also at the show last weekend. Well, we'll show it to you again. See, the cars are starting to actually cruise down the street now. There's that 41 Hudson. So this was at the show last week as well. I'll show it to you again because not a lot of people really watch that video for some reason, but Here it is again. Look at the dash. And a 440 Cuda. This one's a 73 with the automatic. I don't see too many of these around anymore, except really at car shows. There's another Chevy pickup. Take a look inside. Oh, 67 Camaro. Somebody's asked me about Chevy shows. I don't know if there's any big, remember they used to do those big Chevy shows and drag races? I don't know if there's any of those coming up. I used to do those back in the day. This is a 42 Lincoln. Kind of been lowered. Actually, I saw this guy rolling in when he got here. And they left the note on the windshield that I guess he won an award. So I guess they've already done their judging. There's a 56 Chevy two-door station wagon. This is not a Nomad. Not all two-door Tri-5 wagons are Nomads. Yes, there is a difference. Actually, I had a friend of mine years ago had a 57 two-door Chevy wagon. He said it was a Nomad. I get to his house. I said, "That's not a Nomad. That's just a two-door wagon." He says, "Yeah, but everybody kept saying it's a Nomad, so I just went along with it." There's this family coming through in this 56 Bel Air. And 60s Malibu, a 65 with a 4-speed. And give you a little bit more footage of the Malibu, even though we're near the music. A 67 big block Corvette, 427. No word which one. There's three of them you could get. Two of them with tri-power, one with a 4-barrel. I guess they're going to do raffle tickets in a few, so that normally gives us a break from the music. So hopefully. There was that one show where they kept playing the music and talked over it, though. That didn't help us out at all. This 63 Chevy wagon is for sale for $23,000. I don't know if that'll come through. Obviously, swap meet rules do apply, but honestly, for what I've seen, people selling Project one of these does have a little bit of crunchiness here. It's not too terrible considering what I've seen people selling Project ones of these at Pomona. A 69 Chevelle with a 502 crate motor in it. Check out the rims on the Chevelle there.
Hey, because I was going to watch the next car.
And you should have, because there's beers in the...
Okay, so they're doing raffle tickets without music. So that helps us out greatly. This one's even got an 8-track. It's got like the touchscreen sound system and an 8-track, so the best of both worlds.
33205
on this 1965 Chevy Impala.
305.
So that, look at that touchscreen audio with an 8-track.
Regular raffle. You do not need to be here to win.
This is a clean 66 Chevy Impala. Super Sport.
And this is the 5th winning ticket number. We're going to be doing these periodically throughout the day. Final one for right now. Pink ticket 332002.
I'll give you a look at this Nova.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the one and only mistake I'm going to make today.
This one is awfully clean. Give you a good look under the hood again. It's a 56 Pontiac 2-door hardtop. This one's got a supercharger on it. It says tri-power, but it's not tri-power, as you can see. But kind of a neat car. So you don't often see 56 Pontiacs. I know, because I used to have one. I don't think we've had any C10s yet in this video. This one's a very clean short bed. Usually I shoot the Long Beach swap meet and there's just C10s as far as the eye can see. A very yellow Ford F100 with Chevy power. The shaved door handles and (1948) Chevrolet. (1940) Chevy Street Rod. So it's got a probably late 90s Chevy crate motor in there. Maybe like a Corvette or a Camaro or something.
There you go. They could have kicked it and broke it a long time ago.
Just like the fire engines, we always have to bring you the early Rivieras, such as the 65 model. These are always a crowd pleaser. Now Ford F100 with flames. Some sort of skin upholstery in there. Alligator? Who knows? To the other side. Got this 1967 Impala. A 64 Galaxy. 2-door hardtop.
We got that. We got the Coleman stove. Behind that.
55 Chevy. inside there. A very clean Chevy pickup.
Yeah, this happened before.
Unfortunately, we're right next to the speaker, so I got to talk loud to hopefully drown it out a bit. Lots of cool rides at this show, though. Actually, the spectators are beginning to show up as well. 56 Chevy. For some reason they stopped the music, so it's a good time to film. Especially since I'm right next to the speakers right behind me. There's a 1969 Camaro Super Sport 350. This one's a winner, according to the spoiler. And I've seen this 57 Olds 98 four-door hardtop. So, and it's not for sale. He put his phone number there and it says not for sale. That's an interesting tactic. I think I actually seen this at Pomona before. Not sure if it ever made it in any of the videos. A very clean example. The cars are beginning to come out and cruise. Look at the 64 Impala. Got a Bud Light tap for a gear shift. And a couple passengers back there. There's a 40 Deluxe down the street. That Challenger we saw earlier. A 62 Corvette. Looks like it was a fuel injected one, but no fuel injection. Oh, he's got the club as well. There's a 61 Impala. So I guess there's actually a nightclub down on the block we already shot, and they got their own music going now. So I think it's going to be dueling sound systems here in a minute. Let's have a look at this 61 Impala. Look at this neat Chevy pickup. I said they literally, like I said, it's a nightclub that set up their sound system on the sidewalk down there. Never had seen that one before at a car show, but there you go. So that's 63 Impala we saw rolling through earlier. Lincoln Continental 66. Ford shoebox, complete with a very original looking flathead. Four-door sedan variety. This car is very clean. With a 3-speed. Got a 32 Ford Roadster. So just a reminder, we got LA Roadsters coming up in June. That's always a fun show. I haven't been to it in many years, but I used to go to it every year.
Is there drag racing ones going?
Little Volkswagen Squareback. There's a 1970 Chevy Chevelle Malibu. Chevy pickup truck, 1952. That's 1938 Chevy Coupe. Look at the interior.
But no, I did it was like 10 years ago, so it was, but that was game. Yeah. Now I'm not even when I saw you.
Clean 56.
I don't know, man.
1965 Mustang. Appears to be of the 6-cylinder 3-speed variety. Plymouth Barracuda. Looks to be very original small block car. Little Model A hot rod. Not sure what's going on here, but we got a dinosaur in the Jurassic Park Jeep. '51 Ford shoebox. It's a '39 Pontiac street rod.
Tomorrow paper?
The '66 Chevelle. Here's that 1970 Mustang Mach 1 we saw earlier, rolling around. 1939 Chevy. It's a 1947 Chevrolet. A Studebaker Daytona Wagoneer. I believe we saw this at the Studebaker show last year. Of course, these have the sliding roof there. It slides in so you can haul. The advertisement, I think, showed them hauling a plant or something that was sticking out of the roof. A 66 Chevelle. This is a 1937 Dodge Coupe with Chevy power. Chevy Coupe. .40 Deluxe Coupe with something a little extra under the hood. Something a bit different, an 87 BMW M6 Coupe. Or something you'd see at Radwood. '31 Packard. So it's got a small block Chevy in it. That's been hot rodded a bit. '68 Camaro. And a '37 Ford Street Rod. Show you a couple of the cars that are parked off on their own. I was talking to a guy, he said the show usually is bigger. The only thing I could figure is that it rained yesterday and maybe that scared a few people off. But apparently they do fill these streets on normal years. That's a very nice show. So have a look at this 55. This little hot rod. Here's that 42-door sedan we saw earlier. Here's that Hemi-powered rat rod we saw early in the video. If you like rat rods, check out the Rat City Ruckus Video I shot while I was in Las Vegas about a month ago. A lot of interesting stuff there. Absolute works of art, stuff you won't see anywhere else. That is for sure. A couple cars that are parked off in a restaurant parking lot. This 56 Chevy. I'm willing to bet that's my daughter texting me that she needs me to come home. So we're very close to wrapping this video up, whether we like it or not. I'm just willing to bet that's what that is. I checked, it wasn't my daughter, but still, we're getting towards the end of the show. This 1957 Ford Fairlane. Okay, that's going to wrap things up here in Rialto, California for Run Whatcha Brung 2022. We've got lots of great car shows coming up for you in the next coming weeks, including next week I'm planning to go to Santa Maria for Cruising Nationals, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a comment as to what your favorite car was, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.